You know what I've been thinking? The NBA should be led by a woman. Seriously, judging by where the league is headed, there is a lot more female logic here. Nikola Jokić is playing the best basketball of his life and is having a season of historic proportions. It would seem that Joker has nowhere to go but up. But in this regular season he is pushing the boundaries of what is possible. However, the main contender for MVP is Shai Alexander. Why is this happening? Is it really deserved or is it just common sense coming out of the chat room? Let's find out. Let me say right off the bat that this video has no purpose to offend Shai's fans. He has the coolest championship too, and there are several MVP arguments in his favor. I've had a separate video on this topic come out before. All in all, if Alexander wins the statuette to the best of the best, it will be somewhat of a fair summation of his career, personal and team progress. Except that against the backdrop of such a Jokić, such a result somehow doesn't fit with the real state of affairs. Although the MVP debate happens almost every season, the award itself is never unambiguous. Its criteria are very vague, which is probably why it attracts so much attention. The first and most important plus in the SGES piggy bank is team victories. MVP is awarded to the best player on the best club in the league. Seems reasonable. We look at the table, at least in November, at least in January, at least in February, and every time we see the same picture. The environment of the tops may change, but Oklahoma is constantly among the leaders. Shai carries the entire franchise, an argument along the lines of take him out of the lineup and then you'll see the real strain of the Thunder. Works. Oklahoma has absolutely top-notch scoring and the league's best defensive rating by a margin, a direct credit to SGA. At the time the video was recorded, he had missed just one game. The Canadian doesn't break down at all and looks like an Iron Man. He's wildly consistent in every game, scoring over 30 points, and has almost no games where he fails. In addition, he set a personal career high in points scored in the regular season with 54 against Utah. But with those odds and evolution criteria, NBA history would have been very different. Russell Westbrook would never have taken the MVP in the 2016-17 season, when Oklahoma finished only 6th. Then last season would have turned out differently. The Thunder won the regular season in the West and were better than Jokić in 3 of 4 head-to-head meetings, but the award still went to the Serbian, and by a wide margin. Nikola got 79 first places against Shai's 15. The voters probably thought the gap between the Nuggets and Thunder was too small. To be fair, it wasn't, as both teams had the same number of wins, even though Denver was the reigning champion at the time and Oklahoma was the breakout team of the regular season. Most likely now in favor of Shai speaks even more progress of the team. Last season Oklahoma won about 70% of their games, and now they're on pace for over 80%. However, keep in mind that context and especially the environment of the main favorites for MVP is always important. Already a few months before the end of the regular season, it became clear that there were only 2 of them left, and the main battle will be between Nikola and Shai. And it's important to realize that the Nuggets' passivity on the market is not Jokic's problem. It doesn't influence the organization's transfer policy, and the office is full of people who are happy with everything. Therefore, of the plus-minus significant trades, Denver has only straightened with Westbrook. With all due respect to the veteran, they took him as a down flyer who has gone down in recent years. The Thunder have spent years building this team and developing young players. They have picked up the most promising roster for the near future that's dangerous in the here and now. They added Hartenstein, pumped up a great defense and improved depth. What's my point? And the point is that Jokic's progress is doubly remarkable against the backdrop of team-wide action or inaction. Joker is adding right along as the season progresses. Remember when the Nuggets started? It was a pretty sad side. For a long time, they were in the playoff zone in 7th or 8th position, and what's even more surprising, that Nikola was the analyst favorite, but the Denver started to improve, beating everyone and climbing into the top 4 of the West. Jokić played even better, but somehow lost the lead to Alexander. If there is a Joker effect in the league, it seems to be that the better you play and influence the rise of a team, the less likely you are to be MVP. What's the best way to explain this? I can think of anything better than an emoticon denoting HZ. The Nuggets are staying afloat solely because of Jokić. Jamal Murray hasn't played any better. His stats remain the same and his 3-point percentage has dropped to its worst in years. Aaron Gordon missed a lot and sagged in efficiency, but Nikola resurrected Westbrook and made him relevant and useful again. Neither LeBron, nor Kawhi, nor Harden, nor Paul George, although the latter now resembles half George, managed to do that. So what about the game itself? There have been instances in NBA history where MVPs have been awarded for pretty rockets and unreal stats. Comparing Jokić and SGA is by definition difficult, if only because of their different playing styles and different positions. In a normal world, a center doesn't do the job of an offensive guard or playmaker. In almost any other case, this statement would ring true, but not with Joker. He can do everything at all. The Serbian center combines all sorts of playmaking qualities that directly affect results. He is in the top 5 in the league in rebounding, and he is second only to Trae Young in assists. In short, Nikola is one of a kind. He's as useful as possible on the court. He may be considered soft for not having the best defense, but not many people can move this carcass on rebounds. He's a brilliant point guard and would probably have more assists if his Nuggets teammates were a little more accurate. On three-pointers, Joker is rebounding at the level of one of the best seasons in the career of 100% Hall of Fame member Tim Duncan and assisting almost like a prime Chris Paul, nicknamed the General, on the floor for a reason. Denver's entire offense is anchored by Jokic's skill set and he is dragging it in the right direction. That's why the Nuggets, who don't have many great sharpshooters or really valuable offensive units, have a top 3 offense according to this season's offensive rankings. Only Cleveland's gas-to-the-floor pressure offense and the very versatile Knicks are higher. Nikola is generating an offense of historic proportions, cracking out rare numbers with a prohibitive assist-to-turnover ratio. Jokić is only getting better and fixing moments that used to be considered his weaknesses. He's a classy speedster, but he was often reproached for being overly altruistic and overly willing to play a partner in any obscure situation. However, his personal scoring output was up nearly 3 points. Only 2 people in the entire NBA score more, it's just Shai and Giannis. Gilgeous-Alexander is scoring more points, but is he doing as much as the Joker is giving away? Is he able to rebound and assist at the same level? Well, as you realize, that's a rhetorical question. Jokić is accomplishing all of these things with a career-high amount of playing time. When he plays a little less, Denver starts to slip. Compared to last season, Joker is getting to the line more often and scoring easy points. His shooting progress is especially noticeable. The Nuggets center worked separately on his release in the offseason, and the entire league is seeing the fruits. Jokic's 3-point percentage has skyrocketed the cosmic 45% and has held steady at that level for dozens of games now, while his career 3-point percentage is nearly 10% lower. Shai's 3-point percentage meanwhile is holding steadily at 35%, which is below league average. Despite the workload, the Joker is productive in the most important moments. He is major contender for the award for Best Clutch Player of the season. He has more than twice as many accurate shots in the end zone as Gilgeous-Alexander. That's when we saw the meanest version of Nikola taking home the final MVP and winning for the Nuggets the first title in their history. No matter where you watch basketball, Jokić is the best player of the current season. If you're all about the aesthetics of the game and don't care about stats, Joker lights it up like no other. If you like the story of one player single-handedly deciding the outcome in a clutch game, it's Nikola. If you're in favor of stats, once again, he is unrivaled. Jokić is the best in points per possession and most advanced metrics of any player in the NBA. And that's in Denver, which, if it can be called a contender, is solely due to Nikola. Without diminishing Shai's merits, there is only one player in the league right now who is too much of an outlier even among the best of the best. Perhaps the NBA is simply tired of Joker's dominance and wants new faces, and SGA is putting out a great season and is perfectly suited to be a fresh headliner for the association. But the fact is that Jokić is an underdog in the race for MVP according to analysts and prognosticators, and the biggest injustice of recent years. He's not just an objective but the people's MVP. And if I had to vote, Nikola in 2025 looks like a clear choice. So champ, that's the end of the episode, and if you like this video, please press like button, share your opinions in comments below, and as always, play basketball and love basketball.